Purchasing a home in today's market can be scary and a very fast-paced process. Here to make sure you have all of your ducks in the row is People's Home Equity Mortgage. Mr. Bruce, I almost switched those up and called you Mr. Peoples.
That's okay.
All right, Bruce, thanks for joining us. My question today for you is we've talked about working with a local mortgage company, talking with realtors. Today I want to dive into if you work with home buyers directly, homeowners directly, if someone's doing for sale by owner, or do they have to have a realtor representing them?
Well, typically I would say if you're buying a house, you should have a realtor.
Right.
If you look at any business, when they're taking on a new endeavor, they bring in experts to advise them. If you look at, Bill Gates, he had a business coach. Not having to be Warren Buffett, but even Bill Gates had a coach. So I think when you are doing things like buying a house, you should assemble a team to make sure that you get the best possible deal. If you decide to buy from a owner directly, in some cases, if you have a realtor, that owner will work with them.
Right.
So that can be negotiated. So I think in all cases, if it's possible to work with a realtor, you should. If you decide that you're going to buy a house directly from an owner, we can still help you.
Perfect.
But I just think that often there is the thought that I'm going to get a better deal because there's not a realtor involved. It's almost never the case. Yeah. When I see transactions that don't appraise for enough, that don't appraise for sales price, it's almost universally a for sale by owner. So I think often we think we're getting a better deal because there aren't experts involved, and almost always you're not.
Right, that makes sense. And in all of my experience, I wouldn't do it without a realtor either.
I think it's a bad idea.
What you don't know, you don't know. And they know all that.
Well, and so you're going to have a contract that's going to have protections for you. You can get advice on different service providers. How do you pick a good home inspector? Well, go to somebody that uses them like every day.
Right.
And so I think realtors in this market are so important. Because often if you're trying to go it alone, you may be looking at online sites and you get all excited about a property that's already under contract.
Absolutely.
The other thing is realtors often know properties that are coming to market, but maybe they need a little TLC before they make it there. And so sometimes you can get a leg up on the competition because your realtor may have some good knowledge.
Right. All right, Bruce, I want to ask this. If someone's looking to purchase a home this year, maybe they're concerned about their current credit situation. Maybe they have bad or not so great credit. Is that an issue, or are there things that can be done to maybe fix that?
Well, I said, first of all, can it be an issue? Yes. However, it's kind of like when you know you have an issue, deciding I'm not paying attention to it never fixes it.
Right.
I see people all the time who take charge of their credit and get themselves to the American dream of buying a home. Happens all the time. Now, some situations can be fixed very quickly, and some can't. But I think what's important is to really understand it. I find a lot of people that will say, man, my credit's not very good, and it's just fine. Right. They're in great shape. They're in perfect shape. I find other people who think they're fine, and they're nowhere close to fine. So the important thing is to talk to a local lender. One of the things that people sometimes do is they look at sites like Credit Karma or some of these other sites, and they think that's my credit score. Well, it is if you're trying to apply for a credit card. It's not going to be if you're applying for a mortgage. Mortgage scores are going to be different. So you really need to have somebody take a look at it. But I would tell you, if you feel like you have bad credit, don't be embarrassed. I see it each and every day. And there's lots of people that we help advise on how to take some steps to get them to where they need to go.
Key thing, don't be worried about your credit because he can help you either way. He has some tips to help bring your credit up also. We'll dive into those in a couple of weeks. Give them a phone call or visit them online 24/7 to get started or get any of your credit questions answered. We'll talk to you again soon.